Hi, it's Craig Taylor, and it's great to have you with me on another of the Engagement Learning True Wealth videos. These videos are made for teachers of primary and grade school age children. And you know, one of the problems that's facing teachers around the world, that's really getting to the teaching profession, is the problem of stress. And here in the UK, you know, over 10 years ago, the government established that the one profession that had the highest rate of stress of any other was teaching. And that was over 10 years ago, and it's been getting worse and worse ever since. And there's been a lot of research into that stress and what creates that stress, but the area of research that most interests me is what creates happiness and what creates that sense of well-being. And it's fantastic to see that across the board there are certain elements that are shown to be repeating no matter who's been doing the research. And there are certain indications that show us that if you are involved in these things, then you are likely to have a much greater sense of well-being. And at the top of the list comes whether or not you are a giving person. If you are a giving person to others, generous in yourself, that will help you have a sense of well-being. And the next is whether or not you have a rich and varied set of relationships, whether it's family, friends, and work colleagues. And thirdly, whether you have an interest, an open enthusiasm for the world about you. Now, there's a real dichotomy, isn't there? On the one hand, we have teachers who are more unhappy than any other person in their professions, and here we have the three key elements that will normally give you happiness and well-being, and those three things are at the center of good teaching. Isn't teaching a caring profession like nursing, where you're involved in giving all the time? And isn't teaching full of relationships with children, with colleagues, and with parents? And isn't at the center of it your enthusiasm, thirst for knowledge, interest in the world around you? And so it's a fascinating dichotomy to see that the teachers who are unhappy are still involved in those critical things for well-being, and it's not working for them. So where do we go? Well, the first place to look is yourself. You can't be blaming people above you, below you, to the side or around you. You must start always with yourself, because it's only yourself that you can have any control over. And the first step in that is making a decision. The first step in that is connecting your will with your vision. Connecting what it is that you want with trying to find it. And the moment that you begin that process, that's when the whole process towards getting that true wealth in your life will begin. It begins at the moment that you connect your will to that vision. The vision of being giving, the vision of having rich and varied relationships, and the vision of being an enthusiastic explorer and discoverer of knowledge. Those three things, connected to your will, your intention, your wish for change, and the process will already begin.